is Mr. A. I know that you had a question about this code, so I'm going to answer you through this video in my fish avatar because who wants to see my ugly face anyway, right? So over here in your code, and but first of all, like shout out for reaching out, doing a great job with that, and so super shout out for that. You have this error down here, uncaught reference error. R is not defined, as you said in your email, right? And so over here, you are using R, right? And it's doing some math with R over here. And so what is R? Well, when you're coding, one of the things that you do when you're coding is you want to change a number without having to type that different number in over and over again, right? And over here, we're taking we have R, and whatever R is, it's just kind of like algebra, right? Whatever R is, we are adding 0.4 to it, okay? And then we're putting that value, and this is a loop, right? The function loop is going to go, the function draw is going to loop this code here over and over and over again, right? Until you stop the code. This code up here will just happen one time, right? The function setup. But the function draw is going to happen over and over and over again. So as this is running the loop over and over again, it's going to add 0.4 to R over and over and over again. So that number is going to get, you guessed it, bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, so why is it saying R is not defined? Well, remember, computers only know exactly what you tell them. So computers I don't want to say they're stupid, but they only know exactly what we tell them. So in this part of the coding so far, you never told it what R is. So in coding, that's called making a variable or defining a variable or declaring a variable. So we're going to say let R equal whatever number we want it to start with. In this case, we're going to start with 0. And we're doing that all the way over here before the first line, because this variable, we want it, it's called a global variable. We want it to that value to be used all throughout the program, right, through our code. And so we're going to put that up here instead of down there, okay? So once I define, right, this is R is not defined in Sketch 11, right? Here it is. It's saying line 11, but really it's line 12 because it's right after 11 is where it encounters the error, and it didn't know what R was, okay? Now, when I press the play button, you're going to see the difference. There's your circle, and the value of R, which is the size of the circle, right? Because you have ellipse in position X 200, Y 200. The height of the circle is R, and the width of the circle is R. And that's growing and growing and growing because it's doing this loop, right? So now I don't have the error, and then you can continue from there with what you need to do. Eventually, this circle is going to get so big that it is going to grow past the canvas and you won't be able to see it anymore, right? You could also experiment with this. So what if instead of R starting at 0, R started at 10? And then it adds 0.4, 0.4 over and over again. What do you think is going to be the difference? Here we go. Notice that the circle in the middle, it started at a bigger size. So let's try a more dramatic number, though. Let's do something more like from 0 to 10. Let's do 100. Okay. So you get the idea. That's actually is not a very dramatic difference. Put that back to 0. What if instead of adding 0.4, we added a bigger number like 1.4? Then the circle is growing fast, looks like it's growing faster because we're adding a bigger number to it, right? If we did this here like 5.4, and then it disappears, right? Okay, so let's bring this back to 0.4. And there you have it, okay? Then you can continue the steps from here. So the takeaway that I hope that you learned from this, and it's good to run into these errors sometimes, because then you can learn, okay, that I need to define or declare a variable in my encoding before I use it. Now that doesn't mean you had to type this first on line 1. You did fine by doing line 12 and then using that variable in line 13. And you did the right thing by trying to run that code after you added it and you had the error. But I should have told you and made clear to everybody that when you have a variable in your code, you have to somewhere define that variable, okay? And sometimes we do it as the first couple of lines in the code before the setup function, okay? I hope that helps, and let me know how it turns out. Peace.